Forgive me, but I need to vent a little bit. And look, it's something that I got to do. And I hardly anybody watches these videos anymore anyway. So, I doubt I doubt many people are going to even see this anyway. As my channel continues to die here, continues to flounder from the YT censorship and everything else that's going on, and I contemplate whether or not I even want to continue doing this or not at this point. But I got to ask the question, why is it that I'm hated for being blind? Why do I feel often that I'm treated like a leper? Because I'm blind. People are afraid to get too close to me, like they're going to catch blindness or something ridiculous like that, which makes no sense at all. They don't know how to act around me. They're awkward. People say rude things in public. If you bump into something in public, whether it's a chair, table, people are easily upset at you, think that you have no concept of the fact that you might actually be blind and they're just completely ignorant and have no idea. Or you're yelled at because you're in the way and there's a car that's backing out and someone just screams at you and just thinks that you're just some moron that's just purposefully standing there to make their day a little bit more miserable, when in fact you're blind and have no idea that there's even a car coming at you in the first place. And then there's others that are a little more closer to you in your life who feel that you don't have a right to express yourself for your situation of being blind. You don't have a right to be upset about your situation when they have no idea what it's like to walk a day in your shoes. They're not blind. They're not vision impaired. When they have a rough moment, they can jump into a car, take a drive, go have fun, go do something, go sit somewhere, go to a restaurant, whatever it may be. But when you are genuinely asked how you're doing and you decide to actually tell the truth and not lie like so many other people do, where they just say, oh, everything is great, when on the inside they're completely crumbling. That's not me. It's never been me. I'll give people an honest answer, but the problem is for so many people, they can't handle the honest answer. So why ask the question? Now, if you're not prepared to get a straight up answer, don't ask that question. So when someone asks me how you're doing, and I tell them I'm not doing so well, and I say it's because I'm blind, it's because I've been blind now, fully blind for 5.5 years. It doesn't get easier. I want to make that statement clear. For people who think that at some point as a blind individual, no matter if you started out from birth or whether you became blind later in your life from whatever reason, and if you never heard my whole story, if you're even interested, there is a link in the description of every video that I do. It's like a 42-minute video where I go in detail about why I'm blind, what happened to me, and all that. So if you want to know, check it out. It's in the description. But again, this doesn't get easier for people like me and others. You don't just settle. You don't just accept it and be like, oh, this is your new normal. I hate that phrase, the new normal. It's ridiculous. We were not created to be this way. We were not created to eventually develop blindness. Or again, some are born with it. No, that's not the case. I used to be able to drive. I used to be able to play sports. I did a lot of things in my life. But you see, if I express that, no matter if it's, in real life or on a video here, I get criticism from people that don't know what it's like to walk a day in my shoes. Now, I know I do have people here that are sub to me that are blind as well. So I think they would know and they would understand. So I have a few, and I've talked with them, and I've heard some of their stories as well. So I think that they could maybe relate to this. There's only a handful of them, at least that I know of. Maybe there's more, but the majority of people that watch, they would never know. They wouldn't understand. But yet, they think that they have the right to tell you how to feel. And yes, even as Christians, we still hurt. We still go through pain. I often use this comparison. If you have an injury of some kind, I'm just saying it's minor. Let's say you got a knee injury, an elbow injury, whatever. You can kind of try and ignore the pain and move on with your day. the one thing with blindness is you can't turn it off. There's no off switch. You can't just ignore it because it affects everything that you do. It's one of your main senses when you can't see. Think about it. How are you going to go about everyday tasks? So it's not like that ever goes away. It stays with you constantly. But yet people think that they have the right to tell you how to be. And to just not think about it. Stop complaining about it. Stop whining about it, says the fully sighted person. Sorry, but I just don't go for that. And again, you want to treat me like a leper. You want to think that you're going to catch something from me. Whatever. But just the sheer rudeness, disrespect that people show to others. I had a friend of mine. This was before I ever went blind at all of any kind. He had a vision problem. He knows who he is. He watches these videos, and I'm not going to say him by name, but he knows who he is. And, he felt ostracized by friends. People all of a sudden didn't want to, he wasn't even fully blind. And I won't go into his whole medical condition, but he went through some things, and he lost some friends. People didn't want to, hang out with him anymore. They didn't want to come and pick him up. It wasn't even like he couldn't go out and do things with them. He couldn't drive anymore. But I told him, I says, hey, man, if you ever need a ride, I'm there for you. I'll pick you up. We ended up becoming really good friends through that. And, I told him, I'm like, I feel terrible for what's happened to you. That people would just ditch you like that. Now, I didn't know that years later I was going to have eye problems of my own. And it happened. And then there's the comments that I get on YouTube videos. Let me say this for a second, because I have people that yell at me, they scream at me in comments, and they say, you should stop. And let me be careful. They say you should really stop asking for donations or stop begging people. First of all, I don't beg. Do I offer people the opportunity to donate to my ministry? Yes. Guess what? Basically every other, YouTube creator does the same thing. Okay, if you don't like ads are everywhere, okay? They're in TV, they're in, they're in movies, they're all over, radio, all over the place, okay? So for people, and it's not even just so much that they say, just stop again, it's just so, like begging is, please, I need your money, that's begging, okay? Asking people to donate for a creator that puts in a lot of hard work, talks about the end times and all of that, that's trying to reach people for Jesus Christ, spends a lot of time researching news stories, all that. There's nothing wrong with asking people to help contribute. Look, I got bills to pay too, just like everybody else out there. And look, here's the thing. If you don't want to donate, you don't have to. You're not forced to. No one is making you. And by all means, if it annoys you so much to the point where you just can't stand it, then just don't watch. I'm sure many people do. But to insult someone, call them names and say, oh, you're a horrible creator anyway, who would ever want to donate to you? All you do is beg people and then throw a bunch of profanity around there with it. It's just ridiculous to me. Again, advertisements are everywhere. And I am appreciative for every single person who has donated. There have been many, whether it's Patreon or a super thanks on a YouTube video. You know who you are, and you guys are tremendous. And I appreciate all of you. And it's just unfortunate that so many feel the need to take a shot at me, and then they make fun of me for being blind. Oh, so you guys don't see those comments all the time, right? A lot of them get snatched up, and they get put in the held for review on here, and I have to look at it, and then I just get rid of them. But some of the things that people say, it's unreal. Come up with that and what I deal with real life. People, you guys don't even know. I don't talk about it. You don't know what I go through on a day-to-day basis. You know how hard it is some days to get out of bed and even do this. Or if you have a computer problem and all of a sudden your screen reader stops working and I can't do anything because I'm lost without it. I can't operate a computer without it. But I'm told to just Just ignore it. Pretend it doesn't. Pretend you have the sight problem. Pretend you. Sure. Says the fully sighted person. I really do think, and it's a shame. I didn't realize this beforehand, but blind people truly are. I don't know what it is. This is no offense to those who are hearing impaired, but it seems like for those who are hearing impaired, there's a lot more tools out there for you to be able to succeed and do things, but it's not so much for those who are blind. And again, that's not a knock on those who are hearing impaired. But for whatever reason, and I've seen it even before I went blind, again, with others in my life that I know that I mentioned my friend have gone blind or have been vision impaired. The way that blind people are treated like second-class citizens, like they're lepers, and were hate. I mean, I've had people tell me that they hate me because I'm blind. I've had people promise me things in my life that they would always be there, whatever, no matter what I was going, when I first became blind. They lied. We're never going to be like everybody else, that being blind people. We're never going to be able to enjoy things the same way. We can't see the world, obviously. And that's sad that there are people out there that feel the need to treat others that way. People think this is easy for me, that I can just come on here, do a video easy. You don't know the process. Again, I mentioned, and again, if you watch that video I did where I talk about how I went blind, how I even do all this, you don't know how long it takes me to do everything, how to properly put a video together. I know I don't have all the glitz and the glamour, but you know what? The fact that you guys are able to get a thumbnail on these videos and information in the description, that's a lot of work. That's hard stuff to do for someone who can't see. I had to, it's not as simple for someone I could do all this in half the amount of time if I could see. And again, I'm told I'm stupid, and I'm told to shut up, and I'm told I'm a beggar for asking people to donate to my ministry. Real nice, right? Real nice. Again, no one's forcing you to. So why even chime in? If you don't want to do it, then don't say anything. I've had people tell me I'm lying. I'm not really a censored really. It's just amazing to me because I had far more views on these videos years ago, and I was still asking for donations then. So I don't know how it changes in a matter of people just going to, just abandon ship. They don't want to watch because of that. No. This channel has been for years now, been censored and suppressed. People don't get notifications. They tell me all the time. Everyone thinks they know they all think they know, right? Oh, I know the ins and outs of everything about you. No, you don't. I've had multiple people tell me over and over again, I never get alerts for your videos. And these aren't people that just go on their YouTube and browse their channel subscriptions and just start watching that way. They don't do that. Everyone now, they all, it's a notification world, right? You got to get a notification to watch something. I get it. But it's the truth. People don't get notified of my videos. So therefore, no one watches. And what's funny, I could check my analytics, and the majority of views on I don't get that many anyway, but the ones I do get are from outside of my subscribers, not even from people who are subbed to me. It's from outside. The video happens to catch someone's attention. It's a hot topic. It's watched that way. It's not from my subs. So I had to put this all out there because I wouldn't have normally, but I debated even if I was even going to do it or not. But there was just a lot going on this last day. And really this week for me too, with, just in general, with being blind and being out and about. All the examples that I listed to you here. So I had to get this out there. And look, if you have thoughts, chime in. If not, that's okay. You don't have to. But I want to put this out there. And again, if I'm not your cup of tea, then I get it. Watch a sighted YouTuber. If you have a problem with me being blind in my presentation, I've had people yell at me because I have lack of graphics. Fine, maybe I'm a terrible content creator. Maybe I'm not a good speaker. I was in radio broadcasting back in the day, but yeah, what do I know, right? I'm just some loser. Who cares what I have to say? Anyway, I'll leave it there. Again, thoughts, if you guys have them, can chime in. If not, that's all right. Again, I do appreciate everybody who does donate, who has before in the past, and who will continue to. For those that have a problem with me, again, if you hate me because I'm blind, I don't know what to tell you. It's not like it's going to change anytime soon. So, yeah. So, thanks again. And hopefully, I'll continue to make more videos. We'll see what happens.